This is Rosie. Rosie's a floor scrubber and extractor. So it works by first applying water, spraying water, and then brushing the floor and then vacuuming it up. So much more efficient than mopping. So I'm just going to go through how to use it. So it is a really great machine, really well built, but you want to be careful with how you use it so you don't damage it and you get good results. So first of all, when you're to carry Rosie around, you always want to have the wheels on the bottom and the brushes go up, and then she can easily be rolled around. So it's kind of heavy on the bottom. So basically, you want to control the bottom when you're carrying it around. So you want to use most of your control and weight is going to be on this blue handle here. So that's where you're going to lift it from and move it around. So this part does come off with a magnet. So there's a magnet here that holds it on. So this is the operating position. So this top part here, it flops around a lot. So that's why when you're carrying it, you want to make sure you're controlling the bottom and have a hand on the top so that you've got control over the top and it's not going to flop around on you. And also try not to hold the on and off handles while you're carrying it, just hold the regular handles. All right, so Rosie runs with the battery, it's wireless. So to remove the battery, there's a tab here and you pull it and you slide it up. These kind of two sticks align with the holes on the machine to slide the battery in and out. And then it clicks in and out with this tab. So you can see on the battery, there's an indicator that will tell you. So right now we know the battery is full. And then when we charge it, there's a charging port here. We've got our charger that plugs in the wall. So obviously we're gonna attach that, charge it up, make sure she's charged before we go out. Keep an eye on the charge. So in general, you wanna keep electrical parts dry. So there's a little rubber cap here that covers the electrical port for the charger. So we wanna make sure that cap's on nice and tight. And we can insert the battery. So to get Rosie going, I'll just show you the tanks first. So this tank is the solution tank. So you basically fill this the way you'd fill a mop bucket. So in here, I've already filled it with water. There's just a hole here. You can even use a shallow sink because the hole's kind of on the back and you can hold the tank like that in a sink. But again, I filled it like I'd fill a mop bucket. So in a mop bucket, you would put water, warm water, and you would put probably ½ an ounce of floor cleaner in here. And then I've added a bit of disinfectant, so a little bit of alcohol or Oxyver, so there's some disinfection going on, and that'll also help as the disinfectant goes through the machine to help keep the machine clean and germ-free. So the trick with putting this tank on, you can see there's a little nozzle there on the bottom, and then on the bottom of the tank there's a port for it. So you want to go down onto that nozzle, and then this part at the top just attaches with a magnet. So you want to disconnect the magnet and kind of grab it from the bottom and go up. Otherwise you're going to be bending that nozzle. So you want to go up and down on the nozzle, and then again the top just attaches with the magnet. So this is the recovery tank. So after you've cleaned, the water sucked back up and the dirty water goes into here. So again, it attaches with the magnet, so you push it forward. These tanks will actually sit on the floor, kind of, but they will technically stand up on the floor. So when you're done cleaning, that tank's going to be full of dirty water. So this part comes off. This is where the dirty water will enter from the machine. And then this is a filter, so kind of like you might see this like on a washing machine or something like that, and it's got a ball on it, so we're not sucking up water like you'll see these kind of things on a shop vac. So we want to make sure that this is clean and clear, the ball's loose, and that it's in place properly. Again, everything kind of just snaps together with magnets. This tank here, got two little bumps on the bottom, line them up with the bumps there. So now we'll get ready to use it. So you'll see on the top here, there's 4 buttons. So there's a brush, a vacuum, and then lots of water and a little bit of water. So we can control these 4 settings individually. So an example of a time when you'd want to brush but not vacuum is if the floor is super dirty. So in this case, you're just squirting water and brushing, but you're not sucking up dirty water. So lots of water on the floor. You definitely don't want to do this on a floor that's can get damaged from water. But in this case, if the floor is super dirty, you can just do scrubbing while the floor is wet and then do your vacuuming later. So for this purpose, we're just going to do brush, vacuum, and lots of water. So to turn Rosie on and off, it's just a matter of squeezing these handles. They're both the same. They both do the same thing. And it'll kind of guide itself as the brushes turn. It'll move. So again, if you're trying to use it without the brushes on, it's not really going to move anywhere. I wouldn't advise using it without the brushes on. So we're going to squeeze these handles and it's going to kind of pull me forward, and then I can kind of guide it. So the trick is your speed, because the faster you go, the less time the brushes are going to spend cleaning the floor, and the less time the vacuum will have to suck up the dirty water. So if you go nice and slow, you're going to get lots of cleaning and lots of suction from the vacuum. If you go fast, you're not going to get much cleaning, and you're going to kind of leave a trail of water behind. So we'll get it going. So it's very maneuverable. You can do it like this. One of the things. So after I let go of the handle, it continues vacuuming for a few seconds. That's because there's still some water on the floor, so we're just going to leave it in that position and let it suck up that extra water. You'll see there's probably even a little bit left here that didn't get squeegeed up. And another thing is, again, this is very floppy. You want to have full control of this at all times, and you don't want to go lower than 30 degrees. Like even where I'm holding it here is kind of too low, because then water is going to go into places where it shouldn't go. So even whether you're storing it or you're carrying it or you're using it, you always want to have control of this this handle part. So you can kind of go under tables and stuff, but again, you don't want to drop this handle more than 30 degrees. All right, so now I'm going to go through putting it away. How you clean, we'll do another video for that, but you can see it does leave a bit of water behind and it doesn't get right into 90-degree corners, so you might want to have cloths and schmops and other mops ready to kind of touch things up, but this will do the kind of the heavy lifting of getting all that dirt up off the floor. So now we're finished using it and we want to put it away. So we can put it in the upright position so it's supporting itself. So to remove the recovery tank, again, down on the 2 knobs, magnet in this position. And this is going to be full of dirty water, so we can bring this over to a sink. There's an opening here that you can open up and just dump that dirty water into a sink. And then the solution tank, we don't want to transport it or store it with this tank full. Again, we want the machine to be dry when we're storing it, so to keep it fresh and keep the electrical components from getting corroded. These brushes actually come off, so they can be cleaned individually. You can clean the bottom of the machine. They just kind of spin on and hold themselves in place. And yeah, that's the basics.